My name is Julia. I'm 26 years old and I'm working for Schneider now for 1.5 years. I started as a working student for 2HR business partner, and yeah, now I'm in part of our recruiting team responsible for our apprentices, dual students, and maybe what's much more interesting for you, for our trainees. And yeah, I'm based in Ratingen, our headquarter of the DACH zone, so near to Düsseldorf. And yeah, I'm happy to be here today to give you a small career training. Gabi, maybe you will.
Okay, yes. So I think most of the guys here know me from our last meeting, but for them who don't know me, my name is Gabi. I'm responsible for university relations and I'm coming as well from business, so I have a lot of experience in sales. That means customer relationship and so on. And so we would like to talk about the career, and it means at the end also about our careers within Schneider.
Right, then let's start. Today we have two big topics for you, first of all. The first one is let's talk about social media. And the second one, of course, about the application process, the whole application process. So from the CV to the interview. Yeah, so then let's start how we can find you, for example. How you can use social media to find a job, or that we can find you for a job. I think most of you should know LinkedIn. I'm not really sure if you also know Xing, but what's similar to these both networking platforms is that both of them are professional networking platforms that you can stay in touch with your colleagues, with old colleagues, with employees from other companies or recruiters or something like this. There are many groups for professional exchange, for example. You get news about industry. Of course, there's a job market, and you can follow companies you find exciting to get more information. I think you know LinkedIn because it's international, it's English speaking, and it's much more like Facebook, so you can post videos and pictures and something like this. The other one is Xing. Do you know Xing, maybe? Ah, okay. Some of you know Xing.
I think most of them are active on LinkedIn and as well as Xing. I saw the posts and so on from the guys.
The reason could be because Xing is much more German speaking, because it's more national for the DACH zone. So Germany, Switzerland and Austria is more a campus network. And there you can find events and webinars where you can be part of. So, and yeah, if you have a profile, I think most of you have already a profile, or otherwise you, of course, create one. What you have to keep in mind there is, best way is to have a professional photo or cover, and of course a complete profile. That's how we can find you. So, what's your education? What's your working experience? Of course, what are your skills and interests? You can also use the LinkedIn summaries, the small description about you or your current job. It's similar to the Xing portfolio. Let's build a great network, connect with everyone, and share posts as well, of course. And here's some 4 tips for you how you can get your desired position. First of all, of course, make clear what you're looking for. So are you looking for an internship, for a working student position, for a traineeship, or maybe for a professional vacancy? You can also use the career goals on LinkedIn. Similar to Xing is then the career aspiration. You can decide who can send you messages, so can only contacts send you messages, or I think contacts from contacts, or everyone. And yeah, one thing is create your profile in English, because not everyone can speak German. So then it's better to have it in German.
Nobody of them can speak German.
Yes. I think that's clear. And yeah, when you found an interesting position for you, or if we found you on Xing or LinkedIn, then it's great that you apply for one position. And what about the application? So here's one example for application process. This is our recruiting process at Schneider Electric. First of all, of course, we have the job advertisement. We post it on our career website, on online job boards like Stepstone, for example. And of course, as I said, on social media like LinkedIn or Xing. And when you find the position interesting, you can apply, of course, for it and upload your attachments. Like normally we need, of course, your CV that we can see what you already did. And most of the time, that's it. So sometimes it could be good transcript of records just to see what's part of your study, but we do not need any more. And after your online application, there's the first smaller interview. It's normally just a telephone interview, so around about 10 to 15 minutes, where we just check your motivation, hard skills, soft skills. And after the telephone interview, there's the first right interview, I would say, with the recruiter and the manager. In a few moments, I can tell you something more about the right interview, what can be part of it. And after the first one, there's also a second one, then with the HR business partner of the position and the N+1. That means the manager of the manager. And yeah, that's normally it is our whole recruiting process, because after the second interview, we can give you feedback normally after 7 to 14 days. Then we will give you a feedback. And one small fun fact on the side is that wrong hire costs 150 to 200% of the annual salary. Of course, it depends on the position. So that's why it's so necessary to find out if you fit to us. But of course, it's also very necessary to find out, do we fit to you, or does any company fit to you? So that's why you have to think about which form of business suits to me. I think everyone would know these three forms of a company. So there's a startup, SME, like small and medium enterprises, and a concern. Of course, every one of these forms of businesses have pros and cons. For the startup, let's start with the startup. Of course, we have more limited resources, risk and innovation. But in a startup, you have much more freedom to experiment, for self-realization, for self-directed work, more flat hierarchies, and a work-life integration. In small and medium enterprises, it's most of the time more regulated working hours and a salary. They're established in hidden champions, for example. It's more generalistic work and personal responsibility. And the decision-making process is much more shorter, for example, than in a concern. And yeah, personal appreciation. In a concern like Schneider Electric, for example, of course, you have more security and attractive conditions. But the areas of responsibility are more regulated. So that means not like in the small and medium enterprises where it's more generalistic work. So more, regulated, as I said. You have established processes and structured work, which can be good, but maybe less freedom of experiment, like in a startup, for example. More hierarchies and internal policy, of course. And we try everything to do for a good work and life balance. So that's why you really have to think about first for yourself which form of business suits to you. Here's some examples of our benefits. So like for a concern, for example, retirement benefits, or that you can continue your education. We have special talent programs, for example, our Young Potential program, a company car, or flexible working hours. And flexible working hours are also part of the culture of a company. And this is also one point next to the form of business, which is really relevant for you, and where you have to think about in which culture do you want to work, so in which corporate culture. You can normally find it in habits and processes, or in the communication in the company, so communication between employees, of course, or in the communication between employees and customers. And it's like the value of a company. Here are some practical examples like, is the company more traditional or is it more innovative? Do you have to wear a suit when you go to work, or can you just wear jeans? Is there a time card or more flexible working hours, or is it a culture of nodding off versus helping to shape? So just ask in an interview or before other employees of the company. For example, what do you wear to the office, or is an exchange with colleagues from other departments usual? So then you can get an imagination of the culture of a company. So when you apply for a position, as I said, we need, of course, your CV. And here's some examples of what you should do and what you should not do. So on the left side is what you should not do, and on the right is what you should do. Both of the CVs is from Paul Murray. And what's for us recruiters is very important that we have a structured overview, that we can see on the first view what's your experience, in which projects maybe you worked, what's your education. And of course, it's also very necessary to get your personal information, so your contact details, that we can contact you, which languages you speak, or your programming skills, for example. And you can see it really good on the right side. That's very much more structured than on the left side. So I said that I can tell you something a little bit more about the job interview. And here's, like a possible structure of a job interview. First of all, there's of course a small welcome for you. Then normally, like in the first interview with the recruiter and the manager, we would do a self-introduction that you really know who you're talking with, and then it's your time, it's your stage, that you can do an elevator pitch just to tell us what did you already do, what's your education, why you fit to this position, what your interests are. And related to this elevator pitch, and of course to the resume, we would ask you some questions, also about the cultural suitability, and also to your competence. And of course, there's also time for you to ask questions, like I said, about the culture, for example, about the team, specific questions about the job. Of course, we will give you also a job presentation that you get imagination of what are the tasks, for example, how the team looks like, and something like this. And then it's the end of the conversation. And here are also some do's and don'ts for you should do in a job interview. So just a good presentation is half the battle. You can actively address gaps and weaknesses. It's totally clear and totally normal that every one of us has weaknesses. So it's very good when you actively address it to us. You can take your notes, and of course take your time. When you ask you something about maybe a specific situation in your working experience or something like this, it's okay when you just took your time and just first think about it. Before the interview, maybe prepare a few questions about the team, about the job, about the culture, what you're just interested in, and make clear that you want the job. And of course, be authentic, because we want to get to know you and not any other person. What you should not do is, of course, to be disinterested or unprepared. And of course, learning by heart makes no sense. Don't tell us about any standard weaknesses like you are too perfect, for example. Don't give too much information. Just focus on the relevant information. Otherwise, the interview should take 3 hours or something like this. Do not have a negative body language. It shows then your disinterest. And don't ask superfluous questions or contradict yourself. Yes, one question. Good question. I can tell you in a few minutes. Sorry. Yeah, the question was. What?
That's the question. Yeah, I think we understood. Okay.
Yeah. Alles gut, habe ich gehört. I have, of course, no example right now. But let me think about when my colleague speaks, and then I can answer it to you. Because now I wanted to ask Gabi, of course, first of all, because she works much more longer than me in the company. And just wanted to ask Gabi, do you have any tips for our students? As like a manager, you already had a few interviews, I would say.
Yes.
What's important for you?
For me, it's to be that I know that the candidate is authentic, that I feel there is a people in front of me, not a machine or not only skills. So I need the human at it all. And so it's for me good to feel the spirit of the person.
Okay, thank you very much, Gabi.
Welcome.
And yeah?
Is adding a photo better on the CV? Adding your photo, is it better or no?
It's not necessary.
No, it's really not necessary that you add a photo.
But I think it's nice if I can
It's
see
nice?
a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you really don't have to. If you want, you can add, of course, a photo, but you really don't have to. Okay, perfect. So we have something special today also for you, our colleague Henning, because here we have a perfect example how career and development or something like this can work at Schneider Electric. So maybe just,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here with you all. A little bit like giving insights about my personal career, as well as giving some insights about the departments, so the technical departments of Schneider Electric. So I think you all have some questions also about how technical departments think of this hiring process. So my name is Henning Diekmann. I'm product manager for Universal Enclosure. So enclosures within Schneider Electric, all the enclosures around the booth you can find, those are like in my responsibility or the responsibility of the team itself. I'm responsible for the DACH zone. So we will do like some kind of Q&As. So today I have like 2 open job positions. I started my career in Schneider for like 4.5 years, during this time, like I had the opportunity to develop a lot of skills. So Schneider Electric more or less, I would say, forced me in a positive way to develop my skills. So I had like some personal trainings or trainings on developing personal mindset. After that, I had the opportunity to also develop my technical skills. And that leads me from my bachelor degree in industrial engineering, which I did like 4 years or 5 years ago, almost, to nowadays the position of like a team leader within Schneider Electric. And this is also why I took the spontaneous I took spontaneously the opportunity to introduce you to like 2 open job positions I currently have on my team. So there's like 1 position in sales, for example. This is like a very technical position, technical sales support for enclosures. As I mentioned before, I'm the product manager in the enclosure business. So like there's currently an open position, and I would like you to like ask me anything like right after the interview, for example, or like the presentation, if you're interested. So there's this position in Austria or in Germany where it's all about like how to connect software and enclosures, for example. So really being a technical expert of enclosures. And if you take a look around, you will find enclosures almost everywhere. So it's like really not this just enclosure, not just this box. It's really like a thing, a technical product you will find like in many areas. And this makes the complete job very much of interest for each and everybody, because you will discover like many segments, a lot of different like applications, a lot of different customers, and a lot of technical insights from all our customers around the DACH zone, so Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Then there's another position I collected from a colleague of mine, which is in channel management, for example. Channel management, I don't know if you are aware of this. Do you know what channel management is? So channel management in Schneider Electric is responsible for setting up like segment strategies, for example. So for channel strategies in the end. They are also responsible for contracting, for contract management in some cases. They are taking care, for example, about the channel of distributors or panel builders or OEMs, for example. So the second position, it's about a working student position in channel management for contracting. So it's about contracts for how we call it eco-experts, for example. This is also like very interesting because channel management, this is like the position in between all the departments of Schneider Electric. So you will have like some insights within general strategy departments, you will have insights within like very technical departments, and you are combining everything here in this position. So yeah, do not hesitate if you're interested to ask me questions. I will be here on the booth just waiting for your questions, or if you have some questions immediately, yeah, please ask them. Okay. Question? Yeah.
For the position, but for the recruitment process? I mean, I don't know if we will continue with the presentation, sorry for this, but I have a question about the recruitment process. And in which moment of the process we will talk about the salary?
There's no general answer normally for this question because some managers do it in the first job interview, others do it in the second job interview. So normally not in the first telephone interview, but in the first right interview or the second one. Yes.
And is it something that you have established already, or is there an open position for being? Is there an open position of your part to be negotiating with the salary? I mean, could we negotiate this salary or not? Discuss about it or trying to get a middle point.
So we try to establish an equal pay.
Yes.
So that means we speak with you about the payment, yes, but we have a special range for each job. So we are in a discussion with you, yes, but we say if you enter to the company or you will get the same money. So it's for us very urgent to say we make equal pay at that stage.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Thank you, everyone. So if you have special questions, you can meet us at our sustainability area. So we can talk about also again about the application process or any job opportunities if you want. We can keep in touch, or you can keep in touch with us if you follow our Instagram career website from Schneider Electric. And yes, of course, apply with us now. So as I said, we can talk about any job opportunity at our Schneider Electric sustainability booth. Yeah, and don't forget our sustainability quiz, of course. There's also a sustainability quiz, especially for you students today. So be part of our sustainability quiz and join us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for speak to the raffle, because I would take the micro to remember the raffle. So the sustainability corner is over there and you can find it easily. Thank you for listening, yes. Thank you to visit us today, and hopefully we see you soon in Berlin. Thank you.